Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Sunday, and welcome to the Day After podcast on our sub-show Too Many Kubricks, where we've been on an adventure to watch and review every Stanley Kubrick directed film in chronological order. Today is episode 10, where we're discussing a bit of a slower burn, 1975's Barry Lyndon, written and directed by Stanley Kubrick, based on the 1844 picaresque novel The Luck of Barry Lyndon by William Makepeace Thackeray.
If you were to challenge me to think of a movie more different than Clockwork Orange.
No, I disagree.
The tone of that is so... Really?
You see, you can talk about tone. I can talk about how it was shot in a very similar way, with very, exuberance, not the right word, with very, longer, extended takes and lots of use of zoom and pan, of tight and wide zooming.
So the camera is the same.
Yeah,
but everything else is different.
Well, that's something we can break down. I mean, in the way that it doesn't make you feel like garbage. I mean, yeah, tone is easy to differentiate, and I think that's a really surface level way to think about that. Yeah, they're violently different. If you guys are keeping track at home and you want a little bit extra trivia, sorry we don't have that. This was made after financial backing for his would-be film Napoleon fell through, because a movie came out in 1970 called Waterloo, which did not do well at all, and Stanley's financial backers pulled out of that, and in the meantime, he was forced to write Clockwork Orange in 1971, and then in 75, he kind of retooled what he was working on, and what he had learned about this culture into what we just watched, which is Barry Lyndon.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I really want to see what that Napoleon idea would have come out to. I think maybe the aesthetic he was going for would have worked better with the Napoleon story.
Interesting.
But yeah, this is grab an energy drink before you watch this one.
I downed an entire watermelon monster. I'm not gonna lie, I put a lot of effort into these like long sequence things with Pixar and now with Stanley Kubrick. And I can't just skip Barry Lyndon. Well, so this is for the record. This is the longest Stanley Kubrick film, just edging out, I believe it is Spartacus.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's 10 minutes longer than Spartacus.
And okay, one of the first things I want to get out of the way. This movie is gorgeous as fuck. This is absolutely beautiful. Every shot is it's a fucking painting.
I think that's honestly where they may have originated that saying.
No, but
okay, all right. I'm not here to do etymology with you.
There's this scene where Lyndon is like window shopping some paintings, and I wanted to burst in and go, yes, that's from scene 7, that one on the wall right there. It is gorgeous, and this is again one of the reasons why I am shocked by aesthetic. I would argue aesthetically and visually, it's so much more restrained than Clockwork Orange. It's the frame of the camera is similar, but just the aesthetics of what Kubrick is trying to capture, totally different people, totally different plot, totally different morals.
If I can meet you halfway on the camera thing, I do feel that even though it used similar camera motions to A Clockwork Orange, that the motivations of the camera do seem considerably more restrained. The one that comes to mind is that in the early stages, the first time he joins the army, one character has come from the background to the foreground, and as he kneels down, my brain went, okay, you are conditioned to expect a cut to a closer shot of them two with the one guy kneeling. And it doesn't. And I'm not saying that's bad. That's how my brain has been conditioned. That's how a lot of movies cut, and this one does not.
And also, I would say that Clockwork is unrestrained farce. This, and it's one of the things I was surprised about, because so many period dramas set in this European aristocracy, it's almost inevitable that the tone of the movie or how it treats the characters is, I do declare, yes, you say, blah, 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 which is such an easy farce. This movie, even when you see characters that you would expect, oh, how could you not take that tone with, like the guy with the eye patch. No, he's played perfectly straight.
Yeah.
Which, I'm surprised at how restrained the snark and the farce is.
Yeah, you kept looking. We had an inside joke in the previous episode. We kept looking for this movie's version of the truancy officer, the one that jokes within a deliberately excitable accent.
Yeah,
and he just doesn't arrive. And you could expect that out of really upsetting French stereotypes, and you don't ever receive that.
And I feel like it's almost deliberately avoided because it's such an easy joke. Just the ultra effeminate aristocrat with the wig and the powder and do glam.
Well, the problem with that is with a movie of this length, you have to be hysterical or completely straight, because if you're kind of funny, the audience will tire waiting for the next humor beat.
But I suppose, but like the source material is a comic picaresque.
A comic? I knew it was picaresque. I didn't know that it was.
Well, they almost go hand in hand.
Yeah, well, the guy escapes with his wit, and it's a story of like me telling my grandkids my entire life story to the point.
Oh, sorry.
No, to the point where I expected at the end to go, "That's how I met your mother, kids."
And the story elements, this is very this very strangely directed. There is comedy, but it's almost it's played almost deliberately so that you are not laugh. The only time where the snark kind of is in your face is with a narrator, and even then it's kind of it's like he's throwing shade on you.
Yeah.
Like when Barry has that
Sex
small with the Austrian girl or something, and then he basically just calls her a slut in very polite language.
Yeah.
The narrator is the one who's always telling the abrupt, in your face jokes, but in the language of the period.
Okay.
I would like to ask Kubrick, what were you trying to not do? Because this movie feels like it's swerving around things, deliberately avoiding some tones, feelings, associations, references, and he's trying to get out of what you would normally associate with period pieces of this time period.
Mm-hmm. I think that, part of Barry, part of the production of Barry Lyndon, he said that part of the reason that he wanted to use artificial light, a natural light, was to get out of the really clinical, boxed nature of these period dramas, which are. It seems also like we're trying to give the movie the benefit of the doubt. I am personally not a fan of this.
Mm-hmm.
I am extremely impressed, and I'm going to gasp about that in a second, but I think for every good, you need a bad. I found this really dry.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank God. Okay, because this is me coming off of a man who made incredibly cynical, very really funny. And even when it's not funny, it's spooky. We're going to go off and do some other movies here. Maybe it's because it's like we said previously, this is the last one we both saw fresh. So there's no nostalgia here for a movie made in 1975. I also think that part of it can be put on the fact that this is not the movie he wanted to make. This is the movie made with the knowledge he had remaining when his financial backers moved out. A little fun tidbit. After his backers bailed and he wanted to do a similar movie like this to Napoleon, set in the same time period, his backers said, okay, you can have the money, but you have to cast in the lead role one of the top 10 most bankable actors of the time, which is how the guy playing Redmond Barry got the role.
Okay.
They had to do something. They had to get the Will Smith of the 70s to be Barry Lyndon.
And they're almost not, for the most part, it's like they're almost not acting. Or it's like they're in a silent movie. There's scenes like when Barry meets his wife, they don't talk for 20 minutes and then they're married. And then the first time they talk is, could you please stop smoking?
That felt like, see, picaresque. I can understand the appeal of a picaresque novel. It's something. In my brain, I'm really dumb with literature and history, especially. A picaresque novel seems like it has the candor and the wit of something like Huckleberry Finn.
Yeah. Yes.
But it also has like this pulpy feel, like it's kind of an adventure novel, but it's kind of okay. I'm glad that I'm on the right page there, because after the first half, I would consider, especially with the exception of that final scene, which I found very, very good. The first half of his rise, and Stanley likes to do this. He likes to cut it into two very distinct acts.
Yeah.
That was I feel like more engaging and more fulfilling,
Yes.
and then he may have been trying to say something with regards to now it's the bureaucracy that you don't see when you want to become big and a gentleman.
Yeah.
But when you have to do that by watching this thing, it cannot scan as well. I felt at parts where I wish I had been reading the 1844 book.
Yeah, like I am really curious as to what the hell, what was he trying to convey? Again, and I just want to reiterate, I think this style would have worked better if your subject was as epic and serious as Napoleon.
Yes.
But this rake who becomes a count, I agree. There was moments where I was, like you were saying earlier, I wish I was watching Amadeus.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but goddamn. Okay, I'm done being salty for a little bit. Let me talk about the big selling point when somebody brings up Barry Lyndon. Absolutely the first thing people talk about. Did you know this movie was entirely made using natural light? That apparently is up for a lot of debate about what qualifies as artificial light. But definitely during the candlelight scenes, they were shot using natural light. And I made the joke about how this f-stop's got to be enormous. This had an f-stop. By the way, if you're playing at home, f-stop is the aperture size. It's the size of the hole in the camera that allows light to go through to create the picture that you're seeing. This movie was shot during the candlelight scenes in a specially modified camera with an f-stop of 0.7. That is, not joking, the largest aperture ever used in film. So it is letting a maximum amount of light in and impacting the thing that records the amount of light very, very close to the camera, to the point where it's so close to the camera, the rolling shutter of the camera got in the way, so somebody had to make a special camera that would allow them to film these extraordinarily dark scenes.
I can just like imagine Stanley just shouting, "Could you lean a little closer to the candle? I can't see your face." And then the powder's melting off.
I was just looking at these scenes and how candlelight is referent, because this is one of the movies. I'm usually like a modernist. I usually hate old stuff. That's hyperbole, of course, but I want, sometimes this is the movie where I want to look at the grain and how it's aged. I want to see like what is the artifacting here, because before the age of digital, this movie's pulling a lot of strings to get intelligible, not let alone beautiful images on the celluloid.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
it's like he's swinging his dick around like 40% of the scenes.
I don't think I want to watch this again, but I might want like a file that's my screensaver of all the landscapes in this movie.
You could do it. I mean, before we decided against doing putting footage in these reviews and resorting to the shining background I put up there. But if we were gonna do that, we could just put stills of this, and it could be the actual movie, and you wouldn't know because stuff doesn't move, but it's still gorgeous. Last call.
There is one last positive thing I want to say. My favorite scene is the final duel.
That's fair.
I think that is a very good scene. And it's the one time where I feel that the pacing of this movie fits.
Does itself a service.
Yeah, like that is the pacing of the last scene is perfect. That's exactly the pace it needed to be in. I didn't feel like it was artificially drawn out just to go, ooh, look at the Triforce on the tip of the barn.
You're a dipshit. But if I can expound on that, I don't want to be a hoity-toity new age fan who's in your face about it because I only saw it a month ago. But there's a song in Hamilton where part of the musical refrain of the hip hop beat is counting to 10, and during the count of 10, with regards to dueling, they talk about the 10 opportunities you have to back out of a duel as you're getting ready, using the guns, and with it's matched with the 10 paces, and it's a way of saying, look, I understand that dueling phased out somewhere in the 1700s, maybe in the 1800s, but this is a really big deal, and for a picaresque novel, it would be easy for you to make some gunslinging Redmond who's like, yeah, I go on my wits and my trigger finger. But as in the second act, that's one way that I think that he grows up and that he matches his, not bastard, but his stepson, in that we're both scared and we both have stuff to lose now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, do you want to go? Okay, you missed. He threw away his shot. Do you want to keep going? And everyone there is like, fucking Jesus. But I don't know that I would. Is it a good movie? Yes. Compared to, okay, not the first 3, but compared to the 9 other masterpieces he's made.
He's made, okay, if there's another slow movie in this filmography, and it's 2001.
If you want a slow movie, you come home. You say, I want a Kubrick movie, but I also want a slower paced movie.
So he can do this. He can make slow paced movies great.
Yeah.
I don't think he landed here. This is it's an interesting attempt. If you're still interested, yes, please watch it. Get some Red Bull and maybe some friends that you can,
There will be time to quit between. It's also my last bit as I wrap up here is that for the first time in a very long time, possibly ever, I agree with a movie's decision to use a narrator. It's used all the way through. It's not just to get the ball rolling.
And he adds things. He adds to the movie.
Yeah, it's not just a crutch to get the ball rolling and then he disappears. He's there all the way throughout. He provides relevant information.
That's true.
It's not trying too hard to be funny. Good job. I mean, I'm glad that he did that to Thackeray's work. Guys, that has been our review on episode 10 of 1975's Barry Lyndon. Join us, everybody, in 1 week as we discuss my personal favorite, everybody. It's 1980's The Shining with Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall and Scatman Crothers. I'm tingly. I'm so excited. There's a reason it's my desktop for like a year and a half. I'm so excited.
It's the reason why you're looking at carpet right now.
Dipshit.